Good morning, everybody. Well, I hope you've been doing well. I just wanted to show you the pens that I'm using currently and kind of show you, when I'm showing you that's shows what my taste in pens are a little bit, and also kind of demo them and show you what my favorite inks right now are, and pretty much just kind of give you a little writing sample of each of them. And so usually my routine with my pens is I try to keep whatever pens I have inked up. I usually have 6 or less pens is what I try to keep it at, so that I can, be sure they don't dry out and make sure that I keep up the maintenance on them and all the important stuff of caring for them. And yeah, so I'm pretty much gonna show that. And so my first one I'm gonna start out with is the one I probably have been using the most lately. So this is the Sailor Tuzu, which they came out with it 6 months ago and then released it to the US in June, I believe. And I have to be quite honest, I normally was, the pen I would use at school usually was either the Lamy Safari or the Parker Jotter fountain pen. That was my normal ones I would use at school. And I also recently was using the Pilot Kakuno at school. So these pens were performing well for school. However, this one is the one I've seemed to gravitate toward more and more. And especially because I think it's just a tremendous value for the price of it. The normal price is $40, but you can get ones, I got mine on Amazon for like $38, and I think it's a good deal. And because you're supplied with the converter, which is a big plus, because you can get, when you get the Lamy, you don't get the converter right away. You have to pay for that extra. So they give you a converter, and it has the feature, because it's the Tuzu Adjust, which is, I think, ingenious. You unscrew to the left, and now you can pivot this grip section, which I really like that feature. I really like it because, let's say that, my first block on Tuesday, Thursday, we write notes. And then my break between classes, if my hand's tired, I can just easily adjust that, and it feels comfortable for the next class. So I think that's a wonderful feature. So we'll start off with it. And I'm on 80-gram Rhodia dot pad today. So Sailor Tuzu. This is a broad nib, and the ink is Waterman. It's called Intense Black, but I'm, for all the purposes of the room on this paper, black. And sample. That was me. The lazy dog. Okay. There we go. So, and I've got to be quite frank with you guys. I like this, the feel of this nib. It's a lot better than, I don't know if it's a lot better, but it's definitely an improvement over the fine nib that Lamy offers, which is not a bad nib whatsoever, but it has a certain feedback, a certain toothiness to the Lamy fine that this doesn't. It actually flows like buttery smooth, which I really find that so pleasant with it. So that's that. The flow test. It's not too wet, not too dry, so it's really good. And then in regards to if it flexes, it doesn't really. So that's putting pressure right there. It's not meant to be a flexible nib, but that's okay. It's more of an everyday pen. you know, not for doing anything fancy. So that's that one. And then in regards to the quick riding, if I can pull it off here. That was me. I felt myself lift up on that. So it keeps up pretty well. It's not, like I said, I've picked it up a couple times there, so I don't think it was the pen as much. I am running low on ink, to be quite honest with you guys here, because, as I said, I use this one all the time. But yeah, it's a very, very good pen. I think it would make a good starter pen for people. I really do. And then, for those that would want to know, reverse writing. It actually feels good however you write with it. I've checked under my loop, and I mean the magnifying loop, and it's a very well-rounded nib. It's a good writer. Like I said, I think that it would be great for anyone, especially considering the price is not bad. And as I say, you get a converter. You do get a cartridge should you prefer it, but yes. So that's the Sailor Tuzu. So that's my, like, one of the ones that's like my go-to for school. So the next one I'm going to show is another that I really like. This is the Benu Euphoria. This is the iced latte color, I believe, something like that. And it's pretty good as well. And so I'll demo that one as well. And I should have started off saying what it was, but anyway, this is a so the Benu Euphoria. This is a broad Schmidt brand nib, and the ink is Ackerman SBRE Brown. If I can fit that in there. Not really, but... And then the quick writing. If this is in frame. I may have been out of frame, sorry. Keeps up really, really good. Especially with this brown ink, it's always worked very well. Let me get that out of the way. Sorry about that. And then the flow, plenty wet, very nice. I love this one. And maybe you can push out a little bit of line to it, but it's a steel nib. It's not really meant to flex, but there's a little bit to be had. So that I like that about it too. I don't really use that, obviously. And then in regards to reverse, dry, but an extra fine for that. And yes, so that's that one. And it's pretty good. I definitely, I'll say this though, you know, it's a good rider, but there's definitely better. I definitely would, you know, these are about, well, these are running in that $200 range. I definitely suggest you going for a pen like the next one I'm going to show you, because they're in about the same range. So we will switch page here. And this is probably, you know, I can't say I have a favorite pen for sure, because of, you know, I like different pens for different things, obviously, and, you know, for different reasons, but this is one that is in my top choices. This is the Edison Nouveau Premier, and I just adore the Edison Pen Company. I just think everything they do is quite good. So this is the Edison Nouveau Premier. This is the 2017 Spring Edition shade of the acrylic. So, and the ink is Waterman Serenity Blue or Florida Blue, whichever your bottle says, pretty much. It started out as Florida Blue and they changed it to Serenity Blue. Same formula, I believe, from what I know. This is a broad yellow steel nib. And the sample it feels really good. I would say that they're almost neck and neck, this one and the one on the new, but I think this one feels a little bit smoother to me personally. And then the flow, plenty wet, does really well. And then the reverse, yeah, it's about the same as the Schmidt nib. Maybe it's a little less dry, but it's not too bad for doing that, because you want to get an extra fine line with it. And then the flexibility, a little bit less than the new, but that's not what they're meant for. So, you know, there's a little bit to be had, I guess, in the Benu, but not as much here. But that's okay. It does the regular job really well. And then writing quickly, does really well. Kept up very good. So let's see, I think that covers that one. So that's the Edison, and I love their pens so much. I've emailed Mr. Gray for a custom order for him to make me for Christmas, so I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm gonna get one with a draw filler. It's a piston style filler. This is just a cartridge converter, but I have no problem with that. I like it for what that is. And then the next one, so now those were kind of the more traditional style nibs that were on those. Just 1 second. This is the Platinum 3776, and why this is a little bit different now is this is a music nib, which means it has 3 tines to the point, unlike the others, and also unlike the others, this is a 14 karat gold. So this is a M for music nib, and the ink is one that I was noticed from Professor Brown that I also really enjoy this ink too, is Monteverde Garnet. It's a really nice ink. I like the flow of it, and it also reminds me a lot of Iroshizuku Yamabudo. It reminds me a lot of that, but it's a little bit deeper color. It's like less bright to it, I think, but I like that. And so then the flow, plenty wet, very good. And then the sample, it feels very, very good. It's basically buttery smooth. This is one of my favorite pens, again, like I say. Let me move these out of the way. Get a little bit better in frame, hopefully. And then the quick writing. Now, I'm not going to push this for a flex test because we know that with this you get broad downstroke, thinner side stroke without pushing on the nib. So the fast writing. And keeps up really, really well. Basically no skip. I still think this one's excellent. It's kind of become one of my most favorites. That's kind of a specialty nib in a way. And yes, so that's that one. One of my favorite ones to do signatures with. I like that one. So the last but not least pen, just here, I'm going to flip my page over, is Mont Blanc 146, and this is, I think this one's from the late 80s. I think I got it used, but, well, it's pretty much how anyone would get one. And this is just a regular broad nib, and it's a 14 karat, which is what they do for theirs. But unlike all the other pens, this is a piston fill, so you put it in the ink and twist one way to bring the air out, the other way to bring it up. Mont Blanc Model 146 broad nib. The ink is become one of my most favorite inks probably ever. Is Diamond Rider's Blood. And then the flow basically a gusher. Yeah, it's really nice and wet. I really like this one. Nice heavy flow to it. And then also before I do the rest, it could just be mine, I don't know, but this nib is really very nice and pleasant. It's also got very much like a stub quality to it, so you can see, because it's thin to the side and thick across without pushing. It's really interesting, and I don't know if it's just mine, but I like that about it. So the sample, oh wait, actually I didn't show, this does have, I can tell you, because it's a gold nib, it does have a decent little bit of flex. It's not as flexy as others, but it's very nice. So you get a pretty good range of line. I really like that about it. So now the sample. It's just really pleasant. It's the smoothest out of all of them. I'd say the only one that's close in this group of pens would be the Platinum and the Edison, I would say, out of this group. And so next is the quick writing. No problem at all. It's very good. And yeah, so I hope that was hopefully a little bit interesting for you guys. I know I don't normally do a long video like this, but for those that are interested in pens, I hope it was pretty neat for you, kind of see what my taste is and maybe an ink recommendation or so. So yes, guys, I will see you, and I just hope that you guys have a really good one. I'll see you.